Hi, I'm Craig Phillips. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do an entire makeover on this old barbecue using WD-40. This is my wife Laura, and together we're Mr. and Mrs. DIY. Of course, Laura's the better looking one, in fact the more talented one as well. As you can see, there's a lot of rust covering these chrome shelves, as well as the main cooking grill. Not only is it full of grease, it's even starting to rust in areas. And also on the other section, where the sink is, the tap's very rusty and seized up. I'm going to begin by dismantling some sections of the barbecue, and then I can start to clean it. These 3 chrome baskets are quite badly affected with rust, so I'm going to spray some WD-40 on these. After this, I'll put them in a plastic bag to leave them overnight. Now, as you can see in the grill area, it hasn't been cleaned since it was last used, and this has gone hard now. So lift this out and try to remove the burnt dried food using a scraper to start with. Once you've got all of that off, then you can apply your WD-40 and again put this in a plastic bag and leave it overnight. Now I'm going to turn my attention to the inside of the barbecue itself. If we look at this back section here, you can see there's a lot of burnt, even rust in there, and deep bedded grease as well along the back. Likewise with inside here, we've got the 4 bars where the gas comes out and the flame, that needs a good cleaning up as well. So I'm going to be using the degreaser. Give your bottle a good shake and spray it about 15 to 30 centimeters away. Ideally, when you're using this amount of WD-40, it's better to work outside. However, the weather's not good for us, so we're working inside my workshop. So I'm choosing to put a mask on and keeping the doors open to keep the area well ventilated. Now it's had about 15 minutes to soak in, I'm going to add one more application and then start to scrub it with a variety of different brushes. WD-40 is a multi-surface product that leaves no residue, removes dirt, grease and grime, and can be used in residential, automotive and industrial areas. Meanwhile, Laura's making a start on the paintwork.
I've used WD-40 a handful of times and found it very useful when loosening nuts and bolts that have seized up. I've even used it to clean off crayon lines from our kitchen floor tiles when the kids have drawn on them, but honestly I didn't realise it would clean up old metal work as fast or as good as it has with our barbecue. If I had, I'd have asked Craig to clean it with the WD-40 every single time he cooked on it.
Whilst Laura is tackling the front, I'm going to check out how the grill bars and the baskets are coming on. They've been soaked in the WD-40 for just over an hour. Now, at a quick glance, these are of course feeling very greasy, but that's just the oil. But when I then run my little wire wool brush over them, wow, they are perfectly smooth and really clean as well. The actual dried kind of burnt food that's on there is just lifting off really easy now, and that is, you know, months of being baked into it. Now it is spotless. So these were the chrome bits that were very rusty. They are still rusty, but let's see what they're turning out like. Maybe when a bit of wire wool, now the WD-40 is soaked into a little bit more. Oh wow, that is quite a big difference. Lovely and smooth, and literally zero rust on there as well. With these being quite narrow and close together, they are hard to do with a piece of wire wool. So what I've got is a little small kind of scrubbing brush really that goes into a cordless drill. So it's almost off, but it did only have about an hour or so, so I'm going to spray a bit more on these and leave it for another hour or two, maybe, or even overnight. Laura only had about 10 minutes, 15 minutes maximum cleaning this front up, and I've got to say, I'm impressed. I thought we were probably going to have 2 goes at cleaning the front up, and then I was expecting to paint it as well. I've actually bought some paint designed for heat to spray this up, but I don't think it needs it. One single clean has pretty much brought it back to life. So my next stage now then is to clean the canopy up along the top here, this handle and around the sides. WD-40 is safe to use on metal, rubber and plastic parts. It's ideal for using on nuts, bolts, threads and locks. Using it regularly will prevent further rust and corrosion. We had a little squeak in these bits here. But the moment you spray a bit of WD-40 on them hinges, it's squeak free. Now this sits on 8 wheels all in all, and they were quite rusted and a little bit seized up, so Laura sprayed some WD-40 on there. I'm just going to give them a little bit of a clean up around the inside of the bolt there, and hopefully these should now, you can see the rust just literally lifting off them. Oh yeah, certainly feeling a lot more looser now. These were very stiff earlier. That's probably had about 20 minutes, 25 minutes to soak in. So that's all the rust, grime, all burnt food and grease completely cleared off the barbecue. What I am going to do now though is get myself a bucket of hot water with a bit of disinfectant in and clean the inside where the food and the heat and the flame is going to be. So I feel I've removed as much grease, grime, burnt food, rust, pretty much everything off all of these items. I'm going to give them a clean down again in the hot soapy water, because of course all these sections here will be where the flame is and where the food is going to be as well. So now all the griddle sections are placed into position, it's starting to look good. I'll slide these little baskets back in place, one in the centre and 2 either side to put in your cutlery. There we go. So now that is one half of my barbecue now complete. All I've got to do is the other half. I hope I've inspired you to tackle your own barbecue and get results like we have. If you need to know more about the vast range of products that WD-40 stock, check out their website, wd40.co.uk. Please be aware WD-40 is flammable, so do make sure you've cleaned up all parts before you ignite your barbecue. Once lit, let it heat up to over 250 degrees. Leave this for 10 minutes before applying the food. And if you do choose to clean your barbecue outside, do make sure that the gas bottle is completely disconnected.
Well, I have to say, Craig, I think the barbecue looks absolutely fantastic. Do you know what though? It's just a shame that it hasn't improved your cooking.